Hello, mothers. Welcome back. This is Lynn Hamilton. We are going to talk about part two of a mother's journey. Last week, we talked about part one. And if you missed the video concerning the first things that you do when you find out that your son has been taken to jail, you can find that information. The link is on the YouTube channel in the information section. So go back and start with us there. Today, we're going to talk about part two, managing your emotions. Now, I'm going to start with sleeping versus resting. It's very, very hard when you know that your son is incarcerated for you to fall asleep at night. And it's very hard to rest, because when you rest, you're peaceful, everything is fine, nothing is going on, your son is at home, or he's at his home and he's doing fine, and that's how you can rest. But when your son is incarcerated, you're not able to sleep as well as you used to. You go to bed with it on your mind, you wake up with it on your mind. As soon as you open your eyes in the morning, that whole situation is right there in front of your face. That's the first thing that you think about, and all of those emotions begin to rush in. Number two, your workplace. When you go to work, it's just not the same. You don't want everyone to know that your son is in jail, because some people will begin to ask questions. Some people will judge you. They would think you're a bad parent, you're a bad mother, which is the farthest from the case. So when you go to work, you have to wear that smile, but you're hurting and crying on the inside. Next is what to expect from your spouse and your family. If you're married, your husband is definitely not going to understand how you feel, because he's not a mother. He could have similar feelings, and he could be going through it in a totally different way, because they do. Men are wired differently from women, but a man does not understand how a woman is managing herself, and it's very, very hard. And I get a lot of women, mothers, that say their husband is not comforting to them. The husband would tell them, you need to leave him alone, you're putting too much energy in it, you need to try to rest, don't talk about it, don't go and see him. But he still does not understand, because a mother has an unconditional love for her son. Number five is when and how to take a break. Now, ladies, listen, this will overwhelm you. It will take over your mind if you let it. You have to be very, very careful not to let this consume you. You have to know when to take a break. What I used to do to get it off of my mind, because it was on my mind 24 hours a day, I would watch something on TV that I really enjoyed. I would watch something funny on TV that I knew that I would laugh at. And sometimes you feel guilty because you're laughing, you're enjoying a movie. You feel guilty because you're thinking about your son. My son is in jail. How can I sit up here feeling guilty like this? It's not fair. But your son could be in jail playing basketball, playing dominoes, playing cards, watching movies, while you're crying and all over the place. So you have to know how to take a break. A lot of times, us women, we can go shopping, and that will relieve a lot of the stress that we have. Shopping always helps. Number six, when to laugh. Just like I said, if something is funny, laugh. Laugh hard, laugh loud, because when you laugh, your brain excretes an enzyme that makes you feel really good. So take advantage of that, ladies, and know that there's nothing wrong with taking a break and laughing. Okay, number seven, when to cry. I tell mothers all the time, when you go to visit your son, try your best not to cry while you're there, because he's already upset. He's already feeling bad. He feels like he have let you down, which he has. but you don't want to go and cry the whole time during your visit. If you have to cry before you get there, or if you have to, like I used to do, hold it in, and when I left on my way, walking through the parking lot on my way to my car, I would cry. And it's hard not to, but you have to. Mothers come to me all the time and they say, my family tells me, be strong, you have to be strong. But I don't like to tell people to be strong, because in certain situations such as this, when a mother is going through her grieving, you cannot be strong. You can only hold yourself together temporarily, and that's when you're visiting your son. Number 8, your visitations. Try not to get so emotional. Talk about things on the outside, because that's what he's going to want to hear. He wants to know what's going on the outside. He wants to take all of his attention away from his environment. You could talk about his siblings. You could talk about your pets. You could talk about what goes on your job. Talk about everything on the outside, because that's what he wants to hear. This is like a brief escape for him. Unless there's some very important legal issues that he needs to talk to you about, because he needs for you to get in contact with certain people, that's fine. But in the meantime, he's going to ask you questions. What is grandmother doing? What is dad doing? What is my brother doing? And you talk about that, and try to be cheerful when you talk about it. And always let your son know that you're there for him. Number 9, schedule a time so he could call and you're available. When your son calls from jail or prison, you want to be available to take that phone call, because he's going to need to speak to you. He needs to hear your voice. He may want to speak to someone else in the house, his siblings or his dad. If someone else is available to talk to him, he will. And know that your time is limited on the phone. And later on in these videos that I'm going to bring every week, we're going to talk about the phone companies, the cheapest phone companies that is easier for you to manage to receive calls, because these calls are astronomical that comes from the jail. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to have that information for you as well. Also, when he's in jail, he's everything costs the inmates. And so he's going to need money on his books, as they call it, money on their accounts. So if you can put money on his books, that would be fine. That would help him out to buy the things that he needs, such as toiletry, his canteen, things extra that he can have to eat in between the meal times, because that's all that they are. They don't get anything extra like breakfast a snack, lunch a snack. They don't get the in-between snacks. They have to buy the things from the canteen. And be very, very careful, mothers, because some people will take advantage of that mother that tend to send that son money all the time. So you have to be mindful. If your son is calling every week saying, I need this, I need that, and you know you sent him $50 or $100 on Friday, and then Tuesday or Wednesday, the next day, he's asking for more money, that's suspicious, and you want to find out exactly what's going on, because people will take advantage of your son, especially if they know that this is his first time being incarcerated, and he's very, very naive, because the inmates who have been down that road many times, they can tell when it's their first time. So just be mindful of that. Okay, ladies, this is part 2. We're going to talk about part 3 in our next video. So I'll be looking forward to seeing you in another week. Take care. Please remember to follow us on Facebook at Mothers with SIP, and at our website www.Mothers with Sons in Prison, and also follow us on Instagram, Mothers with Sons in Prison. Thank you.